What's up guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon speculation video. So today I thought we'd talk about an idea or a concept that's been thrown around a couple times in the last few days since the games have been announced. And obviously something that I've actually discussed before in a video for Sun and Moon. So it was back in, I don't know when this video came out, it was in July of last year, so almost a year ago. I talked about the concept of Jurassic Alolan. Now this video covered and focused on the idea that because Alola had, you know, a sort of a far out region from far out area from other regions, and the fact that some of the islands, particularly the last island with the Ultra the Sun, Ultra the Moon, etc., on it looked kind of like uninhabited. So it could be because it's an island that's on its own. It could be, you know, Jurassic Alola, where you might see fossil Pokemon in the wild. So I talked about it in that video there back in July of last year, and there's the possibility we might have something very similar coming in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So in Sun and Moon we went and we visited this place called the Fossil Restoration Centre. This is on Alolan Island behind Wayla Volcano Park, just sort of round the back, I think off of like Route 9 or something. And it's just this little guy here in a caravan, and he's like, yo, I'm trying to build a fossil restoration centre and a sort of a park. Now that's just a clear reference to Jurassic Park because that was filmed in Hawaii, which obviously Alola is based on, so a clear reference to that, but they could very easily build on this concept. Now Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they're not sequels, they very much seem to be like an updated version, so maybe a slightly different storyline as well as updates across the board, I suppose. New forms for Solgaleo and Lunala, and particularly you might see updates to areas that maybe weren't the best or weren't very much liked in the original games. We might see some extra areas open up and some extra stuff to explore, so there are some new things. And one possibility is that this guy with his Fossil Restoration Centre, which as you can see here is apparently he wants to make a fossil-filled wonderland, and what he could do is very similar to the films of Jurassic Park, or the books, and I should say, right? Well, you guys get the idea anyway. He might want to, bring these fossils back to life and make a little park for them to run around in, similar to the safari zones from Generation 1, 2, 3 and 4, I suppose, and sort of similar to that. So we might see this open up in the games. So when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you get to Alolan Island and you visit this area, and it's an actual park with a few areas where you can catch Pokemon, and in this area you'll be able to catch actual fossil Pokemon. So rather than in all the previous games where you find a fossil, it's like, oh, I found a fossil, I can get a Pokemon now, yay, and you get given it, it's like level 1, it's level 5, something like that, and you have to train it up and that sort of thing there. We've never seen it in the wild before, and this would be an interesting concept for a Jurassic Park, because it would just be a mix-up, rather than finding a fossil and getting it restored, like we do in the actual Sun and Moon games, or the original Sun and Moon games. We could catch the Pokemon in the wild, and it'd be a new experience for basically everyone. And I think it'd be quite interesting. So if we focus more in on what Pokemon might actually be available, I suppose. So in Sun and Moon, the main fossil Pokemon you can get during the story are Aerodactyl, Cranidos, Shieldon rather, Archon, I don't know, and Tortuga. So obviously we have Aerodactyl from Generation 1, the fossils from Gen 4 and the fossils from Gen 5. You can buy them, or in Aerodactyl's case you can get given it. Very easy to get that apparently, and then you just go and restore it and natural Pokemon there. So we might see these 5 being the main fossils of the region. So when you visit Alolan Island in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, if there's a Jurassic Park there, you can run around in the wild and you can find yourself a Cranidos, an Archon, a Tortuga in the water, Shieldon, etc, etc. Aerodactyl as well might be a very rare encounter, for example, and actually would then drive you to actually have to hunt for it rather than just get given it in Sun and Moon, which is a bit boring. So we might then be able to find these five fossil Pokemon here. And don't forget, there is the possibility that in the post-game it could be extended. So I believe it was in Generation 3 with Hone, there's a Safari Zone. Then when you actually beat the Pokemon League, the Elite Four and whatnot, that Safari Zone opens further up and you can catch some Johto Pokemon. So they could do something very similar in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon with Jurassic Park, because it's like a Safari Zone basically. And you could just expand it to include more fossils, or at least some more fossils. So you could see Anorith come in, and Omanity, Helix God come in, Tyrant for example, Amora. Just different areas open up, and this is not even talking about the possibility that you might be able to, because obviously this is post-game, so it'll be higher level Pokemon, you might be able to have a Rampardos in the wild, actually finding fully evolved fossil Pokemon, because it's like a little Jurassic Park, they can, fully evolve and live, basically, which would be really interesting to see an Omastar or a Kabutops or an Archeops, anything like that, Caracosta. You know, you've got so many different possibilities, and I could see this little, you know, having a little area. The initial area for the first few, maybe just some rocks there, maybe a small pond to get your Tortuga in, and that's basically it. But then once you beat the Elite Four, boom, it opens up as this huge area, different areas and different caves maybe, and it would just be really interesting, I believe. This is why I talked about Jurassic Alola initially, to see like wild fossil Pokemon, and it's basically their best opportunity to do this, because it looks like, or it seems like, one possibility might be that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are similar to Sun and Moon, but set in a more advanced or an updated, basically, because that's what the games are, updated Alola region. So we might see, you know, some slight graphical updates, some updates to some of the trials, so some of the trials are better. Other things we're throwing around, and obviously we look at in later videos, are Mina, the fairy type trial captain. So in Ultra Sun and Moon, she might even have a trial of her own, because of course in the games we don't see her, we don't actually, well, we see her, but we don't complete her trial until we battle her later on in the post game. We just get given the Z crystal for fairy, which isn't the best, obviously. So when we get to that island in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, she might actually have a trial set up, but we might actually have to complete that trial, for example. And then you have to, you know, build it up a bit more, rather than, you know, how many trials did we get in the end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that was it, really. 6 trials, and then they were sort of forgotten about. So Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon might do something to, you know, accommodate that and rectify that with updated trials and updated areas. So extra areas of areas, extra, you know, new areas, stuff like that. Of course, this Jurassic Park would be one of the best ones I think they could do, because it would just allow them to, you know, actually put fossil Pokemon in the wild for once, because just the concept of them means that you can't really, because they're extinct, you know. But I mean, obviously we can recreate them from fossils very easily, so that sort of then says, well, why have they not already been sort of released into the wild? Why have, you know, it's got to have happened at some point that someone's restored a Pokemon from a fossil and just sort of let it go, and you have fossil Pokemon living in the wild and breeding and, you know, reproducing. You could have it just here, Jurassic Park. It'd be a great homage actually to the film series and whatnot, because it would, yeah, it literally linked right in. You know, you have the guy and he's like, I want to make a, you know, this is my vision, and you could have the Jurassic Park with actually all the dinosaurs or the fossil Pokemon actually living there. And that's just my thoughts on it, of course, guys. Let me know down below in the comment section or in the description. Let me know what you think about this idea. Would you like to see the Jurassic Park get opened up in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and be able to catch fossil Pokemon in the wild? Or would you prefer them to keep it more just fossil based, so you still have to get the fossils, and just have the fossil restoration part still be there, but just be like a, you know, a place where you actually get a fossil restored, like it is in Sun and Moon already? Let me know down below in the comment section. And of course, if you like the video, you can always like the video by hitting the like button. That's a very well coined phrase. Well done, YouTube. But this is going to be it for me for today, so I shall be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.